Vet sees sad dog and is heartbroken when he finds out why. Weight can be a difficult subject for many people. Some people want to gain it while others want to lose it. But it's not just humans who can suffer from their weight, as the next stories show. Overweight puggle loses more than half of its body weight. Excess weight can lead to terrible diseases, and if not treated well, it can even cause death, as this dog almost found out. Meredith Wild, age 49, first encountered a dog born to a cross between a beagle and a pug, also known as a puggle, in a Facebook post in 2019. The post included a photo of an overweight rescue dog and asked if anyone could help the poor little dog before it was too late. Meredith, who worked as the clinical director of the Steel City Sports Medicine Canine Rehabilitation Clinic in Beaver County near Pittsburgh, who had previously worked as a veterinary technician, knew that if anyone could save that dog, it was her. Bertha, as the dog was named by the animal control officials who rescued her, was between 8 and 10 years old and weighed an incredible 63 pounds, or 28 kilograms. That's about 13 kilograms more than the average weight of this race. When I saw this absolutely horrifying image of the dog with the message next to it saying, "Hey, anyone up for a challenge?" I thought I could help her, Meredith said. The woman, who lived with her other 6 pet dogs, emailed the veterinarian at the Ohio kennel where Bertha was being kept and explained that she could help. Unfortunately, as much as the vet wanted to accept the woman's offer, there was simply no way the shelter could afford such an expensive and extensive rehabilitation for just one dog. That's when Meredith had the brilliant idea of adopting the dog. The vet happily agreed, and Meredith made the 3-hour drive to Ohio to pick up the dog. But when she saw the dog for the first time, she realized how bad her health really was. She couldn't stand, let alone walk, and she was so incredibly fat you could barely see her head, Meredith said. After picking her up, the first thing the woman did was take Bertha to the vet to see how bad things really were. She found that the dog actually had an active thyroid, which was a big factor in Bertha's obesity. In addition, the puggle had a ruptured tendon in her left hind leg and was near diabetic, and was at risk of developing pancreatitis and liver failure. It was a long list of real and potential problems, but Meredith was determined to do everything she could to give Bertha a chance to survive. With the vet declaring that Bertha would not be able to undergo surgery to repair her hamstring until her weight was under control, Meredith began creating a weight loss program supported by light exercise and thyroid medication. The goal was to get Bertha down to a healthy 30 pounds or 13 kilograms over the course of a year or so. But it wasn't an easy task. With the dog so overweight that she needed to be carried out to the bathroom, it took a lot of motivation and perseverance to keep her on track with her weight loss regimen. Meredith placed Bertha on her clinic's underwater treadmill. To begin with, the dog was only able to walk for 2 minutes at a time, but over the months she slowly progressed to exercising for 15 minutes. Within 4 months, the dog had lost about 7 to 20 pounds and was starting to feel like a new being. Her personality began to shine, proving that she was a cheerful and lively dog. Finally, in June 2020, Bertha was thin enough to undergo surgery on her ruptured tendon. After a successful operation, the dog was completely transformed. She was able to play more, do more things, and walk longer. But a month later, tragedy struck. After seeing that the dog refused to eat and even became apathetic, Meredith took Bertha to the vet, where she discovered the dog had a serious gallbladder infection, which meant the organ needed to be removed urgently. While in the operation, the vet also discovered a lump in her arm, which was also removed. The operation had a 50% chance that Bertha would not survive, but the brave puggle did. A few days after the operation, the dog was well enough to return to her fitness program, and in October 2020, she reached her ideal weight. Now Bertha's a healthy dog and lives happily with Meredith, who decided that she simply loved the little dog too much and didn't give up on her. Initially weighing 28 kilograms and full of problems until she became a playful and energetic dog, that was a miraculous recovery. Much like what happens in the next story. Golden Retriever loses more than 45 pounds. When you think of a Golden Retriever, you probably think of a healthy, fit, medium-sized dog that loves to play fetch and run. Well, for Kai, that was far from the truth. Kai was a relatively young dog when his owners took him to their local vets in Canada in 2018 to have him euthanized. There was nothing wrong with him except for the fact that he weighed 100 pounds above the average golden retriever's weight. Fortunately, the veterinarian he was taken to decided not to euthanize him, instead contacting the Misfits of Alberta Animal Rescue, an organization that takes in lost and unwanted pets, rehabilitates them, and then puts them up for adoption again. The foster mother who ended up coming to pick up the dog was a woman named Pen Haggie, but when she arrived to pick him up, she was in for a huge shock. The vet told her that the canine weighed a staggering 70 kilograms and was the most obese animal they'd ever seen. When Pen and Kai returned to her home in Edmonton, Canada, Pen noticed that he was as big as a table. Pen knew he had a long way to go before he was considered healthy and ready for adoption, but the woman was determined to change the dog's life for the better. In the early days, when Kai was just starting his workouts, it took him 20 minutes to walk from the stairs of the house to the front door. Pen knew it would be an uphill battle, but with encouragement from her vet, the woman was optimistic about getting her new friend back in playful dog form. "Anything you do will help that dog," the vet explained. "Anything he lets you do is good for him." Pen soon implemented a new routine which incorporated Kai's new daily workouts. She took the dog for a walk 3 times a day, once in the morning before work, once after she got home from work, and once before they went to bed. Literally, he would take 5 to 10 steps, then lie down and start panting, Haggie said. But while it might have been slow at first, Kai's determination to make progress was very clear. Day after day, he'd go a little farther in his walks, reaching the neighbor's driveway, and then strove to go beyond that. This determined dog was steadfast in his desire to lose weight. Knowing the excess weight was likely wreaking havoc on the dog's joints, Pen took Kai to water therapy as well, which helped strengthen his hind legs and boosted his energy. As time went on, Pen and Kai's bond grew, which meant the dog trusted the woman more and was even more eager to lose excess body fat. "He knew that I would help him and that he would be fine," she declared. Over the course of a year, Kai lost over 45 kilograms, a huge feat that Pen believes is an inspiration to dogs and humans alike. "It shows you how to get a really big task done literally one day at a time," she said. "He doesn't worry about yesterday, he doesn't worry about tomorrow, he just focuses on what needs to be done today and so he moves on." We can learn a lot from dogs. After going through such a difficult time together, Pen couldn't bear to see Kai go and decided to adopt the dog. The two live happily together, with Kai happier and more energetic than ever. This is a dog that has definitely gained a new friend in his life. However, it's not just big dogs that suffer from being overweight. Just watch this next story to find out how even small dogs can suffer from this terrible fate. Fat Vincent and his weight loss. In 2016, Vincent, the sausage dog, was delivered to an animal shelter in Houston, Texas, after his previous owner sadly passed away. When the shelter's vet took a look at him, they were surprised to see how full of sadness the dog was. Due to the loss of his owner, Vincent fell into a deep depression and grew to 38 pounds, or 17 kilograms in weight. For a standard Dachshund, the average weight ranges between 16 and 32 pounds, so Vincent was severely overweight. If the dog had stayed at that weight, a series of problems would have occurred that would have drastically harmed his health and, in the long run, his life expectancy. The additional fat had already given the 7-year-old canine high cholesterol, as well as a curvature in the back that made it difficult for the animal to walk due to the increased risk of nerve damage. Not only that, but if the weight wasn't lost soon, Vincent would be facing a lifetime of arthritis, diabetes, respiratory and kidney disease, cancer, and even potential paralysis in his legs. "I could barely discern between his lying and standing positions," said Fat Vincent's veterinarian, Cheryl Anderson. "There is very little space between the floor and his chest and abdomen. This can cause problems walking, as the dog may rub its body on the floor, which can cause injury." After hearing about his story, Canine Angels Rescue, a nonprofit organization in Houston, and animal foster mom Melissa Anderson decided to join forces to help Fat Vincent on his journey to a healthier lifestyle. After discovering that the dog had a body mass index of 62.7% body fat, they realized that they'd need to get him down to around 16.8 pounds or 8 kilograms for him to be a healthy weight. That's a whopping 21 pounds or 9 kilos that this pudgy dog would have to lose. Melissa started Vincent's poolside workouts with water aerobics, knowing the water would help to take the pressure off the dog's joints, which would motivate him to work harder and lose the weight faster. But it wasn't so easy. There were disappointing weigh-ins and an exam that made Melissa wonder if the fat was there to stay. However, not long after that, the pounds started to come off. Vincent was not only becoming more active, he was also perking up and coming out of his depression. One of the dog's favorite pastimes was walking. Once he was able to actually move without worrying about hurting his back, he couldn't wait to get out into the fresh air, taking hour-long walks 5 or 6 times a week. He looks forward to rides so eagerly that he waits at the door after breakfast every morning, Anderson said. Since then, Vincent has reached an ideal weight goal, which has done wonders for his cholesterol levels as well as his mental health. He's the sweetest, funniest, happiest kid right now, Anderson said. Vincent was finally found a new forever home, full of walks, play, and lots of love. We can say that Fat Vincent turned into a happy dog. While burly animals may appear cute to some people, it's important to remember that this is unhealthy and can greatly increase your pet's risk of living a painful life and dying early. It's always best to keep them at a proper weight so that the two of you can live a happy life together.